That sound you just heard isn't a Formula 1 engine. It's a paper towel roll with a microphone taped to the end, and that's my voice coming through it. And it just replaced the engine of a Formula 1 car in one of the biggest racing games on Earth. Back in September, Ubisoft reached out with an idea nobody had ever done in a massive racing game. Replace the engines of 3 cars with a human voice. The brief was straightforward. Recreate the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine sound of a turbo Audi S1 Quattro. Create the scream of a Red Bull RB20 V6 turbo Formula 1 car, and match the engine of a V8 dragster so they could swap it in for their VW Bug. If I pulled it off, I'd be the first human in history to do this in a racing game. My voice would ship in the actual released version, and millions of players would hear it forever. So in November, they flew me to France to find out if all of this was possible or if it was just a long shot idea. We're in LA. Sun goes down pretty early. Forecast is time to fly. After a quick overnight flight to Lyon saying goodbye to LA, I arrived in France for the first time and headed straight to the Ubisoft Ivory Tower studio.
This is so cool.
We're gonna meet the team responsible for setting this opportunity up and begin the process of potentially making history these next few days. The office was massive, around 400 employees, each with their individual desks. This specific Ubisoft building is only responsible for building the Crew's racing games. Now with their most recent release, The Crew Motorfest. The office had desks everywhere, a massage room, 3 floors of working space, and even some racing simulators to test things out. As we toured the office, we made our way to the room that would decide the fate of this trip, the recording studio. And I was introduced to my setup, the audio equipment, and most importantly, to Laurent and Nathan, the primary sound engineers responsible for all the car sounds you hear in the Crew Motorfest. If you've ever played Pokemon, Laurent and Nathan are 2 members of our Elite 4, craftsmen, and the best in the world at what they do. They're audio surgeons that have spent their entire career listening for the things inside of a sound profile that nobody else can hear. And if my voice is gonna make it in the game, it has to get through both of their approvals.
What's going on here? While Laurent sets up the next car, this setup is being used for the engine sounds, and this setup is being used for the exhaust sounds. I record different types of ramps, so I'll have a 5,000 RPM hold, a red line hold, acceleration ramp up, a deceleration ramp down. I'll do an idle hold, various holds for like 7 to 10 seconds each, and that will all combine in the render audio, in the audio, to combine and be a playable car. So right now we just finished recording the engine sounds for the F1 car, the V6 turbo hybrid. We're gonna move into a 4-cylinder 2-liter turbo, doing the same types of sounds. So yeah, let's try this out.
That's my voice making the sound of the 5.2-liter Lamborghini V10 engine in a real game. Laurent showed me a few more demos he built for my home recordings, but demos aren't what ships. It was time to record the real thing. First car, the Formula 1. Let's see if this works.
Just one thing, mostly on the deceleration, very high frequencies. For the sweeps, the ramps, I would prefer not to have it if it's
Okay,
possible.
yeah, sure.
Continuous sound like this leads to bad results.
Okay.
First thing Laurent told me, drop the turbo sound. He didn't want the full engine sound all at once. They record each layer separately and piece them together in post. Engine tone on its own first, turbo whistle later, and the exhaust tone separately, like building a song 1 track at a time. So I stripped it back. Just the V6, no turbo, no exhaust character, just the core engine note. And here's what most people don't know about engine sounds. They're all musical. Every engine produces tones at a specific frequency, and those frequencies form musical intervals. For example, the V6 turbo hybrid in the RB20 Formula 1 car produces a perfect 5th interval. 2 notes, 7 semitones apart. On a piano, that's a C and a G played at the exact same time. When you hold that interval and modulate it chromatically up and down the scale, high to low, it simulates the actual tonal sweep of the V6 across the rev range. My voice holds one note, my tongue vibrates the other. If the interval drifts even slightly, your ear knows immediately that that's not a real V6. Fun fact, inline 5s and V10s produce a major third interval, sometimes a major 10th interval if the engine has an even firing order. Completely different character. I'm more confident with F1. Like the V6 turbo, I'm a little better with this one. We have a lavalier mic similar to what you guys see in my videos, and then we have a secondary mic. It's this mic. We ran through every sample Laurent needed. Idle holds, mid-range, redline, the full acceleration ramp from idle all the way up, the deceleration back down, all through a paper towel roll and the studio mic simultaneously, take after take. The F1 recording was finally done. The hardest engine note on earth, or so I thought. But if you thought the F1 V6 was difficult to make, wait till we get to the V8. One car down, 2 to go. The Audi S1 Quattro uses a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. After recording the F1 sound, this felt like a completely different job. Laurent was giving fewer notes, takes were landing first or second try. Here's something most people wouldn't guess. A high compression inline turbo 4-cylinder like this Audi has almost the same audio signature as a flat plane crank V8, like a McLaren 720S, a Ferrari 488 Pista. Vocally, you record them practically the same way. The musical interval for this engine is unison, one note from my voice and my tongue vibrating at the exact same frequency. No split like the V6 Perfect Fifth, just one tone, doubled. That's why it makes it easier. The only real difference when I record these for my videos is the shifting. Whether I'm mimicking a manual gearbox or a dual clutch transmission instant shift, the engine sound underneath is almost identical.
This one was more noisy. I don't know what you did differently. Maybe
The second
the
one.
angle of the mouse, yeah, so just to be sure. Good, thank you very much.
It's good.
The Audi was a break, and I needed it because that V8 recording session is going to be the most rigorous sound by far, and you're about to see why. The Beetle was supposed to be the fun one. A V8 in a car that weighs nothing should sound like pure joy. Instead, it almost broke me, because the sound I had to make was that of a 12,000 horsepower dragster all the way up and down the RPM range of a normal, playable car. Here's the thing about a dragster V8 specifically. Instead of a flat plane exotic V8 like I discussed before, it's not made up of 1 or 2 frequencies. It needs 3 frequencies happening at the exact same time, outputting a second inversion major triad. The first tone is the deep low punch. That comes from the sound my lips make. Physical vibration of air pressure against each other. Let's use the A flat major chord for example. The lips generate the bass tone. This is your E flat note in that major chord. The second frequency comes from my tongue, a vibration pattern that sits right at the middle of the frequency range, and that would be our root A flat tone in the chord. And the third note is the bright top crack that comes from my voice singing. The actual vocal chord tone that cuts above everything else would be our C natural chord. And these 3 notes arranged together like this is a second inversion major chord. 3 notes, 3 physical techniques, all happening simultaneously. And if one of these 3 drifts even slightly, your brain immediately knows it's not a real engine because the actual chord is broken. But holding the chord is only half the problem. I have to modulate it chromatically across the entire RPM rev range. What works at idle might not work at 3000 RPM. What works at 3000 RPM doesn't work at redline. I'm constantly adjusting 3 moving parts simultaneously while they all have to stay in tune with each other. I kept going, take after take. And some of the first takes, I didn't even have the recording running because I was still trying to figure out the sound before committing to it on tape. Laurent doesn't give you a countdown. He doesn't tell you how many tries you have left. He just listens. And if it's not right, he says one word. I stopped counting after take 8, to be honest. That's how you know it's done with Laurent. He doesn't celebrate. The room just gets quiet. And you move on. Let me test for a second.
please. So
Sure.
yeah.
We're getting lucky. Let's do one more. I don't like that one.
Nice.
We got lucky.
I think we got one take good enough for Laurent to work with. Whether it was actually enough to sound realistic and playable in the Crew Motorfest, I honestly wasn't sure. 3 cars, done. I think. But make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video to see whether my voice made it into the game or not. The next morning, Laurent pulled me back into the studio. The V8 exhaust sound from day one wasn't clean enough. My lips were creating so much air pressure that the studio microphone couldn't handle it 2 inches from my face. Every take from day one was peaking and the signal was distorting. Laurent heard it, but I didn't. He told me to dial it back, less lip, more voice and tongue. Less air pressure from the lips, more resonance from the voice, more texture from the tongue, like being told you can't use your dominant hand anymore. The target is the same, getting there however is completely different. They didn't redo the Audi, they didn't redo the F1 V6, they redid the V8. And that tells you everything about which one pushed my limits.
More voice. Yeah, let me know when you're ready. Or if you want to play the sample, please.
I opened the.
Okay. You want less,
Yes.
Okay.
A lot less, and I won't replace by your new one. It will an additional layer, just to have the clean
Okay.
base.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll give you more voice.
Yep.
More voice. Okay. Is that better?
Then Laurent asked me to re-record the 5.2 liter Huracan V10 sound. Not because the home sample wasn't good enough, but funny enough, the opposite. They thought it was so close to the real V10 in their library that they wanted a studio quality version, recorded properly on their equipment to save as a direct reference against the actual car. Which means, if they ever wanted to swap the real Huracan for my voice in the game, they'd have it ready. Remember that major third interval I mentioned earlier? That's this car. The Huracan is a V10, 2 notes, 4 semitones apart, and vocally it sits right between the unison of the Audi 2 liter and the perfect fifth of the F1 V6. Same car I recorded at my desk months ago, now in the same studio through the same paper towel roll, full circle. It wasn't just my voice as an engine anymore. They wanted me in the game. Laurent was still recording, same setup, same equipment, but now there was someone else in the room, Gaetan. He was there to guide the voice lines, giving me tips on delivery, pacing, how to make each line sound natural instead of red. 22 lines. Some were callouts players would hear during races, some were intros, some were reactions. Gaetan would feed me the line, give me the tone he wanted, and Laurent would capture it.
Morning, guys. Today we're with Laurent. He's our sound engineer for this project. We're on day 3 today. We're recording the horn sounds with this little setup right here, and we're gonna do some in-game speaking as well. If you've ever played video games and the game talks to you like through a character, I'm gonna be one of the characters in the Crew Motorfest, and I'm gonna be talking to you. So if you play, that's gonna be really awesome. So yeah, we're gonna do that right now. If you like the way cars sound, you're in the right place. I'm Mr. Car Sounds, and I can mimic any car engine with my voice. Check this out in this week's Summit contest.
You can do a few takes for
Few
each
takes.
of them to
Okay, cool.
really pick the best.
Yeah. Notice how this event doesn't have any music or any sound effects aside from the car. Do you notice anything outside of the ordinary?
Buried in those 22 lines was one I never expected to say in a Ubisoft game.
I hope you've enjoyed my events. For more vocal car sounds, check out Mr. Car Sounds online, and always remember, be loud in everything you do.
My tagline, in their game, that one hit different. At some point, I looked down at the paper, looked at the mic, looked at the studio around me, and thought, I'm literally a SpongeBob voice actor right now, just reading lines off a page into a mic. Except the cartoon is a Formula 1 car. But make sure you stay tuned to the very end of the video to see if all the work we did made it into the playable game, or if everything we just did went to waste.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure. Laurent, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was my pleasure to just do this. I don't know. I'm very happy. So yeah. I get to decide to keep these lines?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Thank you very much.
After recording the vocal lines, I met up with Johan, who wanted me to record content for the Ubisoft channel by imitating a Mazda RX-7. The idea was simple. He drives, I voice the engine live, and they film both at the same time. Matching someone else's driving in real time is completely different from recording samples at your own pace. You can't control the RPM, you're reacting to them. Let's recreate the Mazda RX-7 live with my voice in the Crew Motorfest. By the end of day 2, I'd voiced 4 cars, recording 22 character lines, and made content for their entire social channel. But there was one more thing they had planned for me, and I don't know if I should be excited or extremely nervous.
Okay, so we left the office now. We're going to the big theater where they do their annual meeting at Ubisoft. And they're going to discuss the crew. They're going to discuss this year's developments, new seasons, new events, next year's events. I'm going to present to the entire team, hundreds of people. You can imagine the size of this meeting because it's in an entire, it's in a theater that's like about 5 miles away that we have to go to. But I'm with Johan and from earlier, yeah. And we're headed there now, and I'm gonna prepare my presentation to the team. And yeah, it's amazing. So I feel privileged to be able to have the opportunity to speak to the team and kind of present what we're doing, even though they're working on it already. It's just kind of get to express my gratitude. So it's gonna be really cool. And yeah, I'm really excited. This is cool.
I was actually very nervous. I didn't know what to expect, and judging from the amount of office desks in the entire Ubisoft building, there were gonna be a lot of people at this annual meeting. As we got closer to the location, my heart rate increased upon my realization that it wasn't just a regular theater.
It's a movie theater. This meeting is so big, it's gonna be in a movie theater. So I'm gonna be giving a presentation in front of 350 people.
Comme tout le monde a pu le voir cette semaine au studio, on a avec nous pour travailler sur une semaine de contenu aujourd'hui, Mr. Karstand, Greg, que je vous demande s'il vous plaît d'applaudir. Quelques mots sur ton expérience avec les équipes. A few words about your experience with the teams.
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Greg Gilojanian, founder of the Mr. Car Sounds pages, the Be Loud Academy, and the Be Loud Project. It is my pleasure and my honor to be here with you guys today. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work with you, and it has been an absolute blast and the most fun and exhilarating experience, to be quite frank, on what we've done with the Crew Motorfest and my integration into the game. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. This is the first time that I'm doing anything like this, so it's the first. I work with a few video game partners, but this is the most immersive experience by far, and it's the craziest thing I've done as far as a partnership. So I'm grateful for everyone who have considered this opportunity for me to be a part of, and for Charlie and the team Nathan and Laurent yesterday helping integrate my voice into the game, and yeah, hopefully many users can enjoy this experience as well with us.
And then I found out there was one more thing. I thought I was done. Then Charlie pulled up a Ferrari 458 on the screen and told 400 people to vote. Which clip is the real engine and which one is my voice?
Celui qui est écoutable dans le jeu. D'accord? Attention, vous êtes prêts? Premier son. Attention, je vais jouer un deuxième son.
I had no idea this was coming. 400 people voted. Most people got it right. However, a handful of people, game audio professionals, people whose entire career is recording real engines, voted for the wrong one. Which means somewhere in this room is a guy whose entire job is recording engines for a living, and he just told 400 of his own coworkers that my mouth was a Ferrari. We did it. All the hard work and long recording hours made it into the playable version of the Crew Motorfest. A true world first, where a human voice actually replaced car sounds in a massive video game for all of us to enjoy together.
I want to give a huge shout out to the Ubisoft team. Shout out Charlie, Gaetan, Laurent, Nathan, the entire Ubisoft Ivory Tower team. Thank you so much for putting my voice in the game. This is the craziest thing ever, and like, I hope we can do more and more of this. I would be so honored to do more cars with you guys. And I also want to mention one thing. We're doing a giveaway. I'm giving away 20 codes for the horn sound. I'm giving 20 of them away. Check the description for details, and I hope you enjoyed this video.
Do the horn.